If anyone doesn't think that's an interference, they are bonkers. Welcome back to the Insiders. Yeah, we're back again. Happy mood here. We've got waves and we've got some sick stuff happening in the surf world. Um, as we all know, WSL is back. Plus, Ethan Ewing, Stab in the Dark, big episode. We're hitting it fresh. Mr. Darren Broady's got his hood up. Rose, wetting his whistle. How are you, Daz?
I'm pretty good, mate. I just got back from 48-hour stint in Paris. Possibly one of the best days of my life, Matty. Sorry to digress away from the surfing, but
Love that.
my 53-year-old wife ran the Paris Marathon for the second time yesterday. And with my oldest son, we chased her around Paris on trains and electric bikes. Had lunch at some pretty funky street brassiere, went past the Notre Dame, and made it back to the Champs-Élysées under the Arc de Triomphe for the finish, where there was, I reckon, 20,000 people.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, huge congratulations to your better half. Um, and because it's weird, I wanted to quickly chat about something that was slightly away from surf as well. But how did you travel?
Train, the best way to travel in France, and honestly, if I could travel the world in a train, I would. Um,
Did
I've
you?
slowly but surely started to hate planes, but doesn't matter.
Yeah. Did you use DB Journey bags?
I used my DB backpack, which is
Yeah.
the organic push, but it is the ultimate backpack, man. I've got a little
Well,
top, put me hoodie, put me what do you call it? Headphones in the top.
yeah. I was going to say I went away this weekend and I thankfully used my DB Hugger backpack, which I've had for a few years now, and it's so sick. And I was watching other people who were using other backpacks, and there's just small designs on the DB thing, and it just made me think, like, about what we wanted to talk about with Ethan Ewing and high performance surfboards and like where they're going and how just small little tweaks to small little like just little things just really, really make a big difference. But yeah,
Does your Hugger backpack give you a little cuddle if you get a little bit tired and
feels
cold?
like it.
Feels like
It's
it. So,
massive. It feels like Mary
buddy,
Poppins bag.
before we fall into the world of capitalism. Bells Beach. It was a banger, man. It was a banger. I didn't get much time. I was in a fantasy. I've got my own fantasy surfer group here. Um, I won it, just my thing, which was just. Remember the last episode? I said, yeah, I didn't have a single clue who was going to win. Well,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I didn't think Miguel Pupo was going to win. What do you think?
no one did. I could tell you right now that not a single person in the world, other than maybe Miguel Pupo, thought Miguel Pupo was going to win that. And
If you if you're a nerd, go on to the fantasy server thing and actually look at his percentages. I guess it's somewhere there. It says how many people picked it. They used to, but I couldn't be bothered looking at that. But that was crazy, man. He is a great surfer.
he is. And like it was, yeah. You said that you thought it was a sick event.
I
I
wouldn't say
kind of,
sick event.
but
It was an event. We'll get to. I'll rip into it at one stage, but honestly, I read a lot of press. I saw so much bitching about nah, 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 nah. The same thing we always hear. Now, if you're a surfer, I think a real surfer, recreational surfer, if you've ever been on a surf trip, you know how hard it is to score. Fuck, they just did the best with what they had. And if
yeah,
they made a couple of mistakes, well, they're not too much different to the rest of us, are they?
nah. I mean, yeah, I completely agree. And I think that it was who was it? It was Matthias Hurdy in his round one heat win. He then done an interview and he was he like laughed and was like, "These are the best waves any of us have seen on the Challenger series for the last 2 years." So and like it was day one and it wasn't even like that good. Um, so he was frothing out on like and I thought that was quite cool of him to say that and just say like the waves are still really good and it's really fun and like most events these would be the best waves you'd ever get. So um yeah, I
I
mean it is
I don't
that's
know.
surfing.
I don't know about that, but it was pretty dogger like for those first few days. But
But it wasn't. It was big
like
still. It was still big. Like
I just didn't watch it all. I just watched little bits of it. If it's that dogger, I can't get too excited. I mean, hey, we said we'd try and pick a few things. Now, one straight away come to me then because it's pretty hard not to come to me. Like Stephanie Gilmore's heat was just rank, but Luana Silva, we're not going to call her Lulu because that's one of my pet hates of this whole thing. Them giving nicknames to people like the rest of the world doesn't have to know that. We like just call by name. I think I've said this before. She got scores. Stephanie was out of sorts, man. Like that's a comeback. That's a that's a false start comeback so far. Let's see how she goes in Margie's.
yeah, yeah, that's fair. Well, I wanted to just say just back to what you were saying about like before the event and before the start and stuff. One of the things was like I listened to a lot of other podcasts. I listened to a lot of the WSL commentators before it started, and even round ones and round two. And basically, loads of them were just being like, we're looking at matchups and going, nah, he's too old. She's too old. He's too old. She's too old. And like, I don't know why. And maybe me and you, I can't really recall like exactly what me and you would have called on our things, but like everyone basically discounted any kind of experience. And when you actually looked at when you started making heat, like people making heats and stuff, like it was the old guard that was still standing true, especially on the men's
No,
side.
no one from round one made the final stage, did they? On
From round
either
one, no,
side,
no.
from men's or women's, which is interesting. It really does look like a pretty tough run for them.
Although,
And we spoke about that with Liam on that last potty where he said,
yeah,
"Hey, he's already looking at it. He's got 11 comps more than what he thought he was going to have. So that's just is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
tough, but somewhere. What do you think? What do you think? What's your call? Like your gut feeling there? Is it making it more exciting? Is it just trimming it? Is it trimming it down? Is it there's no room for error, is there?
I think I love it. I love the fact that like I actually love the fact that you look at any single heat and you don't really see a favorite, or not necessarily you see a favorite or not, but you're like, well, if he wins this, this isn't like um a complete mind blower, if you know what I mean. You're not getting like that, like the quality on tour is just if one beats the other, you're kind of like, yeah, fair. They're like if Liam O'Brien goes and beats Jack Robinson, you're not like, oh my God, what's Jack doing? You're like, well, lobby's sick, right? Uh, so I
I,
think
I guess I guess if you were looking at there was two ball overs. I guess the most two from following your train of thought there. I think the two biggest upsets of the comp were Leo against Felipe in the last minute, and then obviously Miguel in the final. But it seemed that both of them were well accepted. I mean, did he complain, Felipe? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he would have somewhere. He would have been telling someone that the judges were against him. But in all reality, he couldn't have, could he?
nah. I mean, for me the closest heat of the whole event was Dane Henry versus Griffin Colapinto.
Superheat, Super hit.
Unbelievable. And I actually you asked or you said let's get ready for the episode. Let's write down five standout or five like things that were memorable from Bells. And number one, I wrote down Dane Henry, and he surfed in two heats. I just thought the energy around him, what he brought to it, his interviews were cool. Um, geez, he took it to Griff. Like that could have gone any way. I think there's definitely not a robbery there, and I think that you could easily argue that Griff won the heat. I think you could easily argue that Dane won the heat. But yeah, for me, he was like that was incredible to watch from Dane Henry.
He's one of the standouts of the event, isn't he? So I wrote down, and I wanted to mention you, how interesting I thought his interview was because he said, "Look, now I know what my job is, and
Yeah,
I know what it's going to be like when I'm on tour." And it's been a long time since we've seen anyone on either side that confident, knowing they're going to be on tour, not like being humble, whatever. And he didn't sound like he was being arrogant. And I don't think that a single person watching or interviewing or there doubts in their
no.
mind 1% that he's going to be on. Now, is he going to be on next year? We'll see. Like you'd think. I spoke to one of my best mates during the comp, who, by the way, loves a new format and he's played tennis his whole life. So let's just hope Bobby Martinez isn't listening to our potty. And he said they're knockout straight away. And he said to me like, "Wow!" Like he kind of knew who this guy was, and who's going to stop him?
Well, yeah, I mean, for the first time
I'm
in a long
telling you.
time, I would be I would be genuinely shocked if Dane Henry isn't at the top of the Challenger Series leaderboard like next year, and head into the tour. And I've not said that like most of the time. I'm like the Challenger Series is even harder to call than the tour. Like you get winners come out of anywhere, and obviously like the conditions are all over the shop and stuff. But Dane's just got everything in his locker, and I think he's also. I don't think he's arrogant. I think he's confident and he believes in himself, and I think he wants it more than nearly anyone else. And so for me, he was a highlight of the event, and that heat was phenomenal.
And you called him last year when we were talking about Grommet of the Year. And I was backing Lucas Skinner, who I do think is probably the next best grommet of the year. But I guess at the moment he probably lacks the maturity. Um, you only get that by experience, really. Even though I saw him at the ABB in real life action, and just saw how other people were reacting to him, and he already looks like uh, well to a surfer, in my opinion. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that, for me, like quickly rolling on, not quickly rolling on, but before I forget it, you also said leave Tia alone in our thing, and you're right. And I'm super not surprised at all that she got dusted, especially by someone that you would never have bet on. But she's only 15, man. And the other thing I thought about is, imagine how do you feel then now if you're Katie Simmers, who 2 years ago, you know what people are like in the media and everything. She was the champagne in everyone's glass, and that's just how the media are. They find their darling, and it was all Katie, 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 Katie. She's a superstar. But before her, we've had all these other
Yeah.
child prodigies, including Aaron Brooks, who can't get through a heat. And now we've got TR, who they're all going, "Oh yeah, world champion even, world champion even." One of the commentators said,
Yeah.
Jessica Starling, um, for this year. And hey, her next event's Margie's. She's only 15. If Margie's is solid, and I know she can handle it, but
She's
there's a
four
lot of
foot
pressure.
ten.
Huh?
She's 4'10".
No, no, not Kate. Oh, who? Tia? Is
Yeah.
she? Okay, that's a lot of pressure. And she could. Hey, let's be
Yeah.
honest. She could come out and win it, but I'd be super surprised if she does.
I watched her heat and I think she surfed really well. But Alyssa Spencer was on the best wave, and I think that's the difference. Is you like the the Challenger series, there's not always the best wave of the heat. It's like how well can you serve, like how high up can you
Yeah.
serve these bad
Yeah.
waves? And
Yep.
Alyssa Spencer got the one wave of the heat that had an 8 on it, and she surfed it real good. She surfed really good through the whole event, and
She went upside down on a set wave at
yeah,
Bells. So what are you going to do? There's other people not
and
doing that.
I think that's the difference. Is the difference at the World Tour stage is the waves will like if you take off on a six, it does have a limit of how high you can go on it. Whereas if you put yourself on a set wave, you got it already starts at an 8, and you've just got to surf it to that, and then maybe a little bit higher. So I think absolutely leave Tia alone. I still think she looked good. I don't think she looked nervous. I don't think she looked like out of place in any way at all. And I still think she's going to have some. I think she's still going to be like mid range on the tour. She'll win some heats. She'll go deep in a couple of events. But yeah, a little bit of a reality check maybe to everybody else, like Jessie Starlin saying she's going to be world champ and stuff. It's like just pump the brakes a little bit. Um, in reply to your comment about Katie, I actually think that Katie would love that. Katie Simmers,
Yeah.
I
Less
think,
attention.
yeah, the less attention you could give her, the better. Weirdly, she was on sharp eyes, which I really want to know, like if that's just a test about and stuff. But I thought Katie looked pretty good as well. But yeah, into my second note of highlights. Um, I don't know which way to start. Okay, I'm going to start with the note I wrote down first. Gabrielle Bryant winning it is amazing. Gabrielle Bryant winning it with a completely plain surfboard, other than the Hurley sticker on the nose, is core as. And I was like, that makes this win so sick. Like, I don't know, like you see Italo's boards, you see Medina's boards, and they just look like billboard, like, oh, they just look horrible. Her board just looks so clean, and she surfed so fucking good.
She was my power surfer.
She was my power surfer. Oh no, yeah, she was my power surfer. Sorry, I thought Steph was yours,
That,
but
no,
Treaton changed it.
yeah, I changed all around at the last minute. I couldn't deny the fact that I thought she was going to win. I think she's honestly, I'm telling you, and I've said it, she's not my favorite surfer at all. I think she's the most powerful, and I think she can score points just because she surfs good. She's that good. She's that good in those sort of waves, and I think she'll go good in margies, and I think she'll probably go good at snapper. But the caveat is if snapper's barreling, she won't win. She's not
No,
a
yeah,
barrel rider until she turns a once she or if because we said the same thing about and have been for 10 years about Felipe. Once he can step up to waves of consequences, well, when she can ride a barrel left and right, don't know how
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know how other people compete her because, like, even Tia, like, and Katie, they don't have that raw power. But we'll see because she's good backside as well. Huh? Like, she could win Raglan.
Yeah, potentially. Um, yeah, I think that with Gabriel O'Brien, you have like it's similar for a few people. I would say it's similar as Ethan Ewing, and he dropped the ball on this one. But like you earmark events where you have to do well here because you're probably not going to do well here and here and here. And Bells for Gabriel O'Brien is like one of those where it's like semi-final or better. If not, it's complete failure. And I think the same for Margaret River. Um, and she won it. So it's like box ticked, but like she's still this whole year is going to come down to consistency, and she still has to go to chopes, cloud break, pipe, and like they're the ones where it'll almost be a bonus result for her if she makes a couple of heats.
Well, there she's going to run into Katie, Molly, Erin.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's three best barrel riders on the tour. And then she's still on there, isn't she, Vahini?
Yeah, well, that's literally what I was about to say, right? So if
Vahini can go.
if
Imagine she wins both comps in the Pacific coming in the
yes,
pipeline.
well, that's the thing as well. If Vahine has a quiet start to the year, then she'll be coming up against top seeds when you hit Chopes and Cloudbreak in early rounds, and that's like you could be seeing Gabriela by Vahine round one, and that's going to put cat amongst the pigeons, really. So,
What sort of chances would you give Aaron at Margie's?
uh,
Big, powerful, fat, right,
yeah,
tiny girl, backside.
I wouldn't be. I don't think she'll be in my fantasy team, and I wouldn't be putting money on her. But I think she surfed well at Bells. I think she got quite unlucky in her heat. Um, but I still think she surfed well, and I hate all of the flames all over her wetsuit and her boards and her tail pads. It made me want to smash my head against the wall. Um,
One
but
thing I noticed is that she's got like Hollywood hair. She's got
um,
Hollywood hair. Check it out next time. I reckon either her or a mum or whatever, or she's got a handler that does like what they used to do in the films where they do 1,000 strokes before she walks out of the house in the morning. I reckon.
maybe we'll get her on and ask her.
Let's ask
Um,
her.
what's another one of
Okay.
your note points?
I thought it was really interesting how there was a lot of hype around the Australian guys who had a huge year on the challenges and a big year on the world tour last year with let's just say let's say behind Yago the two most dominant surfers the last couple of years of Jack and Ethan in people's minds, whether it's statistics or what, and they got smoked. And there's four Brazilian world champions on tour: Felipe, Yago, Gabriel, and Italo, and Miggy won the event. And Miggy and Gabby are coached by Adrian de Souza, who's another world champion. So they're traveling in a pack. I thought about that the other day with five world champions.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? That's a force, man. I don't know how anyone can break through that at the moment. Like they're going to get older. At one stage, maybe that'll happen. But um, Jack and Jill, Jack and Ethan are going to have to come out at the and Griff, who, thank God, I don't know him. Like he's just like, like he confounds me a little bit with his vocabulary or whatever. Like he is what he is. Like rock stars. A lot of people say, when you see a rock star, you say, how can that dude leave the house dressed like that? Things like that. But
yeah,
those three guys, those three who are the threats, they've got three events to become a force, or it's all over for them.
you calling it that early? That's yeah, fair. I mean, um, I
No,
would say Griff gets a okay. He finished third. Like
yeah, yep,
in
he's
this
in the
type of
center.
season,
He did well.
in this type of season, that's a good result. If you that,
Insane result.
but Jack and Ethan, and here's the thing, right? So Ethan lost to George Pitar surfing a tail paddless board, so he deserved extra points. And realistically, George surfed really, really well, but Ethan didn't surf. Like if Ethan surfs his best, he blows him out of the water.
He didn't even surf. We'll get to that the second half of this episode. But how was Georgie against who beat him?
It- um,
That was like one of the heats of the comp.
was it? It was Brazilian, right? It was. I can't remember now. It
How
was.
can we forget it?
Oh, I can't remember.
Miggy,
Yeah,
Hoopy,
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Blake. He was wailing. He can be proud of that event, but he went on the smaller waves, which happened to a few of them. Like Leo got stung in his quarter or whatever. All of a sudden they get stressed. I can't understand. I only got 30 minutes. They got stressed. There's lulls, and got too busy instead of sat there waiting. Like George was probably in the top five standout surfers of the event. If you look at the
Yeah,
speed and arcs he was generating, but it doesn't count for anything if you're not
no,
getting the points. And look at Gabby, man. He got semis in an
that's
event
really
that's
good.
not really that event and didn't even look like he got out of second gear, man.
No, surf really good. The heat against Italo, I heard people going, "Oh, this is one of the best heats ever." No, it wasn't. Like it was a good heat because it was close, but like they both had like one had a
Some
6.73 in his scorecard and one had a 7 in his scorecard. Like you can't compare that to like the best heats ever of like John versus Kelly at Church where it's like 20 plays 19 and stuff.
was
But
it was a
Gabby
good
surfed really
match.
good. And Ethan, yeah, Ethan, that for me, big ball drop on Ethan, but he might bounce back. But talking about ball drops and stuff, and this is like one of my moments. Um, I said this in not last poddy, the poddy before that Jack Robinson
Yeah,
gets
you said it.
he gets this weird thing where everyone in, or not everyone, but most people in the surf media talk about him being super chill, super calm, really good at decision making, cool guy, zen guy. And firstly, he was getting smoked by Sammy Pupo. And secondly, if anyone doesn't think that's an interference, they are bonkers. I'll happily argue with anyone because if you're about to take off on a wave and you've got someone who's flinging their board in whitewater towards you, I don't care
Yeah.
how good you are, your concentration is not 100% and it does hinder you. And it's
You'd have
100 and
you'd have
it's
to be a deaf, dumb, and blind and pinball wizard to be calling that not an interference.
yeah. And a lot of people didn't like that Sammy Pupo made like some sort of claim against it. Jack Robinson would have done the exact same thing. I
Yeah,
can
they will have.
guarantee it. And also,
Maybe he
what
was just a bit
what is he
rusty.
doing?
He's a bit, yeah, he shouldn't have been anywhere near it. But it was bad conditions. It was rusty. Jack can come back straight away. I tend to agree with you. I wonder if he's got too many sponsors. Um, am I too old school like that? Do I have to? I mean, they are pro sportsmen. It's such a big difference uh, between a rugby league player in a team who doesn't have to be a social media star. They just got to go out and play good. You play good, you're on the run on time. You play good all the time, you're in the team. Where these guys have got to do all this other sort of shit or think they do. I mean, that's maybe why he's going to become my new. He's not even my new favorite. What I like about Ethan. And I didn't know that Poopy's got a few hundred thousand followers too. But he's 34. He's been on the tour for a long
Yeah,
time.
Chopes
He's got
winner.
incredible teeth. I remember when he got his teeth done. And everyone's going, poor Poopy. He had to get his teeth fixed. He's got a big set of white teeth now, so when he wins a comp, he can just get out the pearly whites, and he did. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
It shows that any of these other dudes can win an event.
Yeah.
That's what it shows.
And here's my biggest call, I guess. Considering
Oh,
that the last time
ready for recklessness.
that considering that the last poddy that we spoke about Jack Robinson, I was pretty harsh on him. And considering this poddy just now, I've been pretty harsh on his decision making and what he's doing. He'll win Margaret River.
Oof, I hope so.
I I just think without John there, um,
I
yeah,
thought about that today when I picked my power surfer, which wasn't him. Um, but I'll change a few times between now and then. But
what else is on your highlight list? I've got two
I
more on
thought
mine.
Okay, I thought Isabella Nichols was the unsung hero of the event. She just ripped the bag out of it. Who'd she take out? She
Carissa?
took Lisa out, and honestly, for me, she took her out easily, even though the scores were close. I think Molly got past her, squirreled past her. I think the only person that could have beat Gabby in the event was Isabella, and if she had been in the final, maybe she could have beaten her if she got on the first wave of that heat because she's got a new. Well, I don't have to know it's new and improved, but in the warm-up sessions, I nearly put her in my team, and
Yeah.
anyone can say that I nearly did, I should have, or whatever. But honestly, there was a warm-up session where she looked twice as good as anyone else. But because we haven't seen Steph surf so much, and it looked like she was going to come up against her. I was a little bit worried about that, but now the monkey is off her back. She's going to be did she win Margie's the other year to requalify?
She did re-qualify. Yeah. Yeah, she
Oh,
won there. And she won
I
Bells
can
last
remember
year.
some inane stuff I can and forget like the name, my own middle name. But yeah, I
Yeah.
she
Yeah,
could go good
I
there.
think that's a really good call. Isabella Nichols was a really good, like solid performance, and um she really kind of, yeah, she looked maybe better than I've ever seen her surf. Like even when she won
Yeah.
it last year and before, I
Where
thought
she else? She won Punta Ruca last year, or was it just Bells?
I think she only won Bells last year, Margaret
Punta
River the
Ruca,
year
maybe a
before, but
final or something.
yeah, I think Gabriella Bryant won it. I think she might have beat Isabella in the final or in the semi, but she done well at Punta Roca last
I'd
year.
like to see a challenge for the title, man. Honestly, like it could be a bit different when it gets to the Pacific. But she has a dig.
Yeah, she sends
If
it.
you remember,
Yeah,
she's always having a dig at those events. She's got a helmet on. She's
yeah,
always pulling in. She's not trying to do little flicky turns on the. That's what's annoying. That's one of the things that annoyed me with Gabrielle and some of the other girls just in the tube riding events where they're trying for points when they should
yeah,
be just trying for barrels. And same with if it was a guy, I would say the same thing.
yeah.
And
Felipe.
that's where we will. That's where we will see Jack
Yeah. Hey, so
hopefully show his authority.
I wanted to pull up. This is just more me being a nerd. Um, but just a quick mention. Oh, there's a pun in there actually. Medina rocking up to Rip Curl's like flagship event wearing Quicksilver and Quicksilver wetsuits, I thought was incredible. I know that that is not a potential sponsorship. Well, it's not at the moment a potential sponsorship thing. It's purely like they've seeded him some wetsuits because he's asked for some. And also, Tyler Wright, ex Rip Curl, was wearing O'Neill in the event.
Oh,
So
really? I didn't notice that. And it's great that you brought that up because you're the person to spot those things where we don't. And I thought Tyler actually didn't look too bad surfing on a
yeah,
couple of ways. She had another heat where it was a little bit hard. And I think she could have potentially won that heat if she had got the right wave. But you could say that about
yeah,
anyone. But she didn't look horrendous, and Sally looked really good, and then fell to bits. So the old guard's gonna maybe struggle a bit there, but I don't think the old guard. I think,
yeah,
honestly, I think it's Gabby's gonna. Let's just.
yeah,
I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. The next event's gonna be sick to watch because that's where you see.
yeah. I mean,
There was a bit of bad luck in the first event for a lot of people, but you got to make your own luck.
yeah. And it's a funny one with like the Gabby thing and with the Miguel Pupo thing is this like our year, is this year's version of when Matt Wilkinson went on that mad, yeah, he won Bells and
Napa
Napa. And
and Fiji.
and for a long time that year he looked like it might be his world title year.
Yeah.
And then obviously fell short. Is like, is this because like I won't put Miguel Pupo as in my team, in my fantasy team for Margaret River, but like is he going to go and win Margaret River? And then when do people start putting him in the team? And when's he start having who
I
knows?
thought about that too. I can't see him winning Margaret River, but he most
I would
obviously
have said the
can.
same about
He
Bells.
most, he most obviously can from what we just saw.
Yeah,
And he goes good when it's bigger. And
yeah,
he's a hell of a barrel rider. When I think of Miguel Pupo, I just think he got an iconic wave at Pipeline uh, many years ago. I don't know how many years ago, 5, 6 years ago, maybe more. A left, like an iconic wave, incredible. And from that minute, he was forever etched in my mind as someone who can get an iconic 12-foot hell barrel. And like
yeah,
that's he created the messiah of surfing experiences, and he pulled it off. And that now, 7 or 8 years later, he's still on tour. I think I heard that he's got 4 kids, whatever.
yeah.
Like,
Four kids. Yeah, yeah,
for example, he keeps having years on the world tour where he's getting prize money, and I'm not all about the money, but for example, his prize money there, he can just buy another apartment back there in
well,
Brazil,
yeah,
buy another apartment with the prize money.
yeah,
And if he has a good year, like there's 4 or 5 apartments he's got. So his kids have all got apartments when they grow up,
yeah.
and he's got somewhere to live.
Yep,
And then he'll have the poopy surf school, and he'll be set.
that's it. My last highlight is something I watched today, and it was sick, and I think it's back for this year. And I'd recommend anyone to go watch it if you're a bit of a nerd like me. But Snake Tales is on YouTube, so it's Jake Patterson, and you get to see,
The Bells event.
yeah, it's really cool. It's like half hour long. Um, Obviously he's a legend, and it's just a cool like. There's no other content like that to watch. So for me, that was really cool as well. But
I
yeah,
might have a look. I might have a look. Is Kanoa Igarashi the the person that the core surfer least likes to watch? I mean, I don't follow him. I've made a big point now of switching back to yesteryear where I didn't follow any single person on Instagram. I'm not following any single one of the World Tour surfers, and I'm only looking at messages. I don't want to know it. If it comes into mainstream media, then I'm going to see it. That's my new theory. And Kanoa's he's very shiny, but geez, I still love watching him surf as much as I could. And I don't dislike him. I met him a bunch of times when he was a grommet. He used to have his birthday party every year at the Euroglass barbecue during the quickie thing. But who beat him? Griff beat him. He just
yeah,
didn't get paid. That was a super interesting heat to watch, but
yeah. I thought he surfed good. I thought he looked good in
he
the event.
surfs
But
good,
I
man.
did
He's
I
such a
did
good surfer.
think that I thought his boards looked slower than when he was on Sharp Eyes. I don't know. I don't know if that was just me or the waves. I mean, on that snake tails thing, it's quite interesting. You see him say um, that the waves had no power at all and that he couldn't push, which was really interesting and stuff. But I really like Kanoa. I like that I don't think he's very flash. Like, I mean, he's flash, but I don't think he's very
You're
like in your
right.
face. I don't think he's very in your face with it. But
He's
who
he's
knows?
quite silent, isn't he?
Yeah,
I do know most of the Americans don't like him just from previous years um,
fair
of
enough.
reading comments on the old fantasy surfer thing. Uh,
He's
and he was pretty smart, man. He moved to Portugal. He lives in one of the wave rich areas. I mean, sure, he goes back to Cali a fair bit, and he turned himself into a hell barrel rider as well. He's good lefts and rights. He can do
and
airs
he's
and
smart. He is smart as.
so what's he's got a quarter final under his belt. He
Yeah,
can. There's another year on the tour for him.
yeah, yeah. I think
I mean, Miggy's on tour next year, isn't he?
that is Bell's done, but maybe Bell's was the second best thing to happen this week.
Yeah, yeah,
What do you
very,
reckon?
very, very, very well. Second best thing that happened, Matty. Maybe I watched it before you. I'm not sure. Thursday, I forget what it was. Ethan Ewing, Stab in the Dark. I watched it twice over 2 days. I can never get enough of Ethan surfing ever. Taji Burrow in it. Whoa. I mean, honestly, I don't think we're going to do a Stab in the Dark Ethan special series like we did for Kelly because I think doing it with Kelly was it was a cultural event. But straight into this episode, I preferred it so much more. And by the end of the episode, I realised that once again, Kelly hoaxed us because there's no way he didn't know what those boards were. And that kind of just is starting to annoy me more. And let's not talk about him now. How good, how good is Ethan? Can anyone do that, sir? Can anyone match that?
I mean, yeah,
I
no,
guess they can,
like,
but I don't think so. I don't know. Well, it's a big
but
question.
what I guess the thing with thing for me with when I heard Ethan was doing the stab in the dark wasn't I was never worried about the surfing, but I was worried about how we don't hear enough. We don't hear much from Ethan. Like we hear some post-heat interviews and that's it, right? And I was like, how is this guy going to come across? And there was the thing that dropped with Billabong um, a couple of weeks ago or whatever, or maybe longer than that now. And you sent it to me where he's in Stradbroke Island and stuff like that. And he's still not like the best at talking to camera, but this is where I think Taj is an absolute masterstroke. Whoever came up with that idea at Stab,
Well,
genius.
well, Taj is best mates with Sam McIntosh and was the
Yeah.
original go-to content boy for Stab before it even became an online magazine. And while you're talking about whether Ethan's good or not, from he's straight away leapfrogged everyone being back into my favorite. So from one like comment where he was sitting there and he was saying, "Look, if I'm in a room, if it's not my mates or people I know or whatever, I'm just going to stay silent." And that's how I would like to be able to myself because I know I talk too much a lot of times, and but that's why I like hanging out by myself as well, and just hearing him say that, it's just unreal.
Yeah.
He keeps low key, doesn't have to be a social media star, is what he is. Put him in the water. Wow.
Yeah. And even his kind of like knowledge like his knowledge of some boards, like he pulled that CI out and within a few seconds he was like, yeah, that's a CI. And you know, when he pulled out his DHD, he was like, I know exactly what this is, and I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, he just smirked. That was
Because
great. That was great TV, wasn't
because what we've got to remember is this was all filmed before the Kelly one, so this
it? Yeah.
isn't like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
reaction.
Nothing to do with it.
Um, but I even really liked, like I said, I didn't kind of expect it, but I loved his insight on, like the CI was the CI, and like spoiler if you haven't watched it, the CI goes really good. We don't know if it wins or not yet, but the CI goes really good. Literally from the first wave. Is that the best first wave of a stab in the dark ever? Like on a board that isn't his normal board? Geez, like it's up there. But I loved him. I loved watching him have to work out boards. The other two boards, the Damn Man, it looked a bit he surfed it in the worst conditions. But his feedback of it, of how he said it was like really drivey, but then getting catchy and stuff like, and then what was the other one? James Chill, but it
Oh,
wasn't
Jason
shaped by James
Flanagan.
Chill.
Hey, so
Yeah,
can I cut in there? Because
please.
this is what we are, the insiders. So Jason Flanagan lived actually over here in France for many years, rips the bag out of it, natural footer. And Christian's a pretty good mate with him. And I think I sent him the link where he fell off and then goat boated the barrel. So this is because you heard about it. He didn't get long to make the board. He said, "FK me." They told me on a Thursday, Arvo, we were in the SITD. They were picking up the board Saturday lunch, ran the gauntlet and whipped out a shape I was working on, but hadn't ridden. Thought, what thought, WTF have I got to lose? Should have thought about it a bit more, but had no time. Cut two the same, shaped them. One felt better at the end, passed that one to Stub, kept the other, rode it myself. The thing went sick, especially for calves. A mate who rips rode it and didn't give it back. Said the board was mental, especially for calves. Anyway, it is what it is. Everyone is frothing on it. Pretty sure EE would have nailed it on the second chance he wanted, because he did. He thought about surfing it again.
Yeah.
But a ditch is a ditch. I'll take it on the chin. He was loving it out of the lip. As for Chile, we call it a cola, but I've taken over the high performance program for now. Blah blah blah, and there you go. So that
That's
was
sick
cool.
as.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wonder this, right? Why is Stab giving someone 48 hours notice to make a surfboard? I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's very good from Stab. Like, there is no way in the world they only had 48 hours notice on this. So why aren't they sorting that out? Because from other inside knowledge that we've had from other previous Stab in the Darks, I know that
Okay, so Manny,
Christians run.
can I throw my hat in the ring?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe because he's based in Bali, maybe someone else didn't get him aboard in time and got axed.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking that could have happened.
That definitely, yeah, yeah.
So maybe they just something to do with the Kelly thing and thought, let's throw more flavour in the book. Nine's not a good number. They wanted 12, or how many is it?
Yeah, but that's what they've already done. That's what they've always done. And obviously this was way before Kelly.
No,
But
it
you're
wasn't.
right.
I don't think it was way
Yeah,
before Kelly. I think
it
Kelly's was
was
before it, but he just didn't come out in time. That's all.
I think it was
I think something
yeah,
with
sorry, yeah, sorry, it might have been filmed after, but
yeah,
not
yeah. It's just that
yeah,
the
and then
people didn't
released.
see it.
Sorry, yeah. But I do think your theory on someone not coming through could definitely be true.
Either way,
Um
it didn't suit Ethan, that board. Like
no,
for
but I
what he
still
wants
thought
to do. For what he
there's
wants
some waves where he ripped on
he
it.
did, he did, but he didn't like we know what he likes. He knows what he likes and it just
I
shows
did think
it just show it should, gee, what did you think of the Dan Man? I thought he surfed the Dan Man? No.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. The round pin.
Mhm. Yeah,
It was hard to tell, wasn't it? Because the surf kind of went cactus. He still ripped on it.
yeah. It went onshore.
I bet
I thought that I've
he could feel something though. I know what it's like when you can
yeah,
feel something in the pool where you can just feel it and think, oh, can't wait to get that in good waves.
I think that's exactly it because I think if I was if I was picking the boards, the damn man probably looked the worst, but it was definitely in the worst waves. So he obviously felt something when he was riding it.
That's
I
see, Taj said that. Of course, it is what it is. It's just a pity that that's just how
yeah,
it is. Some boards aren't going to get the waves that you
I,
want to be in.
I I did also love that before he even surfed, he said what he's trying to do. And he basically was like, I am going to push these boards. I'm not going to take my foot off the pedal. I want to go as fast as I can, no washing off speed, and I'm going to try and like blaze the hell out of these turns.
And
And if the
he's
board
got the
doesn't hold
power.
up to it, and he literally was like, if the board doesn't let me do that, it's
It's
bin
out.
straight away. Yeah. And you it's one of the only it's one of the great things about it being Ethan is we all know it's not going to be him, right? Like it he's going to
Yeah.
be he's going into that turn the same as he's done every single turn on tour and all of his other turns. So we know it's not Ethan and they're in a place with incredible waves. So it really is like all eyes on the board, which is
Hey,
exactly what it should be.
Taj was on tour for maybe 15 years. He won as many events as he can without winning a world title. He was on tour for Kelly, Andy, Parko. Mick, he was on tour with all those dudes.
John.
John, he had a great heat against him at Fiji, and he was as blown away as what any of us would have been if we're
Yeah,
there. We
yeah,
were that blown away just watching it. I just think it's worth and the best thing I liked, it just went straight into it. Like I'm
yeah.
not
Me
saying I
too.
didn't like listening to the Shapers and everything, but I was still doggo and a bit dodgy, and I was over them at stab because of that. I wish, if they did that second episode or in the at the end, like now they're doing, which I'm loving, by the way. We won't go in too deep into that. The Kelly files after, it's super interesting. Seeing that he's actually kind of pretty normal. He's, the Kelly files that they're doing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about stuff. Starting, I just want to see him ride these boards, full stop. And that's what they did.
I,
Straight away, he was in the water.
I agree. What I liked, which is on the same tracks as you, is that they didn't try and take anything. I know it's because obviously when it's filmed anyway, they haven't tried to take anything from the Kelly's Run and bring it into what's happening in the dark. The Kelly's Run is a separate project, and I loved conflict with you there. I loved the Shapers episodes being first. I loved it on the Kelly one, and I thought it was great. Um, but I wouldn't have loved it if it was on this one because this is back to the OG Stab in the Dark, and um, yeah, episode one was special. I thought it was really, really good. Very excited for the next one. Um,
How's his stomach rash at the end? He's
I
surfing in
know,
the middle of Indo, no wet shirt. And he's a white
and
haired
how
kid.
he is
Someone's
a
going to tell him about skin cancer. I might send him a message, I'll tell you.
he
But
is a
all
beefy
good.
lad as well, isn't he?
Phew.
He is he is stacked.
He's a meat axe, as
Yeah,
Taj says.
but
That's where
how
that power's
how
coming from.
sick is it that I just loved the. I mean, I thought Taj was incredible as a host and as a thing, but how sick is it? Just how much froth he just had when he was just sitting there watching Ethan. I couldn't word it better than what you said. He's been on tour. He's been shoulder to shoulder and competed with the best of the very best, like the legends after legends and stuff. And he's still just sat on that beach and reacted like any of us would have watching Ethan just go ham on that
He's,
first
he's
wave.
calling it the best he's surfing he's ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you can always get caught up in the moment, but it was a
Yeah,
pretty good
Taj
moment.
is a frother.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
I'm more than excited to see the rest of the series. And to tell you the truth, I honestly can't wait to see him get on the DH. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
him get on the DH and see if we can see what we didn't see in the Kelly thing, or what we did see that he'll surf best on his own board. But we'll see. Maybe not. Like, yeah.
I think for me, Ethan is dead set gonna surf better on that DH than any other one, just because of how he is. But I'm excited to see him ride
Oh yeah.
like some of the others, like the Borst and
Is there
see
there's
how
Pizel in there?
Paisel,
You think he'll
Borst.
go good on a Pizel with all that power he's got?
You'd hope so. The weird one was the stretching, including stretch into it was a bit weird, but see how he goes on that. And yeah, just excited for the.
Oh well,
Sorry, yeah, excited
I
for the
think we're going to
following
have to.
episode.
I think we're going to have to call it an evening. Guests. We probably will, or we probably won't come out with Margie's event forecast. I think we've already talked about Margie's a little bit. Maybe we'll come in. You'll
We'll do
find
it.
it
We'll
out.
do that. Yeah, we'll do an event.
We
We'll
could
do
even
it.
do a post first day review.
We'll do a Margie's preview. We'll share our fantasy teams and a bit more about the fantasy team, like results from Bells on that episode as well.
Well,
Just
we're
because we
going to have to be
can.
quick, Matty. So get ready for the episodes, listeners, because Margie's is in 2.5 days. So
Oh, well, maybe we won't.
let's see. Let's see. They might not run on the first day. If they don't run on the first day, you'll get one from us. And if they do, you won't. Thanks for coming, Matty. Any final words to talk about? Nothing. Sweet.
No,
1 minute thing, and we'll bring it up in the next thing. The Vela series is still going along there with John. John was pretty good. Wherever
yeah,
it was, Fiji, wherever it was, it's pretty good.
Fiji, yeah. I'm excited for those to continue to drop, and then we'll do a big episode on like a few of them, because they are really good.
Let's get John,
And
John, Ethan, and no, what's his name, Nathan and Ivan all on the potty together. Like hold your breath for that one, viewers. If
they're
you
missing out if they don't.
you're not gonna see them on our podcast, but you never know. We'll talk for them in their own place. Thanks for
Exactly.
coming, Matt.
Au revoir.